and online business communities, and is a sought-after speaker in all those circles. Sophie's leveraging the power of the Internet seminar series is currently booked to be delivered in over 100 dozen communities. Sorry, over a dozen communities, not 100 dozen. I don't know where I got 100.
We were in Belgium.
Over a dozen communities in the next few months. You have a lot of work, Sophie. Sophie understands how to increase your company's revenue and client base through the power of the Internet social networking. Please join me in welcoming Sophie Andrew.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here. I actually teach at Trent University as well, online business principles, as you said. And I have 86 wonderful kids this term in my class. I teach every other term, so they actually do a lot of my research for me. So that's kind of a nice way, because you can't stay on top of this stuff. I'm out speaking. I'm averaging now almost 300 businesses a month versus 100. What happened was, last August, after I finished one of my classes at Trent, I thought, you know, I'm going to send out an email to a number of my friends that are in the chamber here in Peterborough area and see if they want to hear about this sexy thing everyone's talking about called social networking. Because up until a few months before that, I really hadn't even heard of it, and I teach the bloody topic. So I'm thinking, what the heck is this stuff? So it's sold out within, I'd say, a moment of sending out that email. I only had 30 seats in that class, and it's sold out. So I thought, okay, and it was a fun class. I knew everyone in there, and people are putting up their hand, what the heck do you mean by CPC, clicks and stuff? I said, okay, I better speak English. I can't speak techie, I gotta speak English and understand how is this helping someone's business. So I did it again about 2 months later, and spoke in English, and went really well. But what happened after that was, I'm probably doing these about 6 times a week now, but which I'm having a lot of fun. So I'm meeting a lot of businesses, and I was actually very nervous doing this one because you're in my hometown. I'm on the road a lot doing these now. I'm in Newmarket, I'm in Nova Scotia, I'm in Richmond Hill, I'm in Toronto. But doing it in your own hometown just is more important, so I'm very nervous. In July, I married the partner who I actually have in Sophie and Drown Associates, my associate Jerry Baldwin, and his brother Frank Baldwin. I didn't marry him too, but they had Laurie's Camp Cleveland when they were growing up. It was in Ennismore. It was a fabulous place. He's kept all the recipes. His mom used to make these fabulous ribs. It was a, what did you call it? Not an all-inclusive back then, but where they came.
American Plan Resort.
American Plan Resort. And when I hear the stories about family-run businesses, I could vision now what I would have done with them if they were in business now and they had the family run. I would have a picture of, you know, the dad and the mom cooking and the boys running around helping everyone, and what a place to be. So when Michelle and Jane asked if I would help with this conversation, I said I'd be delighted. I can't tell you how much I respect the fact that you're in a family business. How many people had a family business and decided something else would be better when they were around 18 years old. They left home not to do the family business and then regretted it 20 years later, maybe 5 years later, you know, if they were smart. So I really respect what you're doing. What we're going to do is I'm going to talk for about, I also married someone who has grandchildren. I've never had kids, so this is just, this lack of voice is a product of never having little human diseases. So every time I'm with one of his grandchildren, they think I'm a bloody monkey bar, and I love it. I mean, I encourage it, right? So they're sneezing in your face all the time. So no adult human has ever caught my cold, I'll have you know by now. So this is little germs from little kids that I seem to get, and I don't have an immune system for it. So it's don't worry, I'm okay. So in about 45 minutes, I'm going to stop and ask you to, while I'm talking, if you have any questions, fill these out for me, and then they should be on your desk or your tabletops, and I'll be glad to collect them, or just remind yourself to read them at the time. And again, I'm going to start off with, I have 2 presentations. As I said, I normally do 3 to 4 hour seminars in the kind of more of a teaching style seminar to businesses, where they come in and I teach them how to create a business page on Facebook, how to use Twitter. But I'm going to do something a little different here. I'm going to talk to you about why people are doing it. And I found some really cool videos that help me talk about why people are doing it and how it's helping their business. Then I'm going to go over to the how-to just a little bit, just to show you some high levels of the how-to. And then I'm going to go back to the why and show you some best practices, like some other family businesses that I have found that have been doing some really nice stuff online. So, so let me get going here. So what is social networking is what I'm going to start talking about. Survey said, there's a survey that I found that was done in November 2009 to 4,000 businesses. And I just wanted to share with you what types of businesses are using it. So that can be as boring as you know what. So I only took 3 out of the 90 slides. Unless you'd like me to bring up the 90 slide one, I think I'll stick to the 3 for you. And then some best practices. So that's how we're going to handle this. So online social networking. What is it? What is this online social networking? It's nothing really new other than marketing. What I like to tell people is, especially in your industry, when you have a traditional brand, when you have traditional legacy, when you have the respect that you do, don't lose that when you transfer anything online. Keep that. Keep the logos that you have. Keep the colors. Keep the history. Keep all of that when you go online. But the difference is, in social networking, if I'm having a conversation one-on-one with Michelle, say I'm on my Facebook page or my LinkedIn page, one of those things that I'm going to explain a little bit further, a social networking tool, and I put up an article or something, and Michelle actually clicks on it and says, wow, that was a good article, Sophie. What happens is, normally in conversation or an email, it just stays between us, and that's it. Those are the only 2 people. Maybe she might forward it to Jane and a couple other people. But what happens is, in social networking, I might have 200 friends that see whatever I post. Michelle might have 200 friends. Oh, I'm going to start messing up my math. Let's pretend we each have 100 friends. Okay, I have 100 friends. She has a friend, 100 friends. And say each of them have 100 friends, and each of my 100 friends have 100 friends. What happens immediately is when Michelle clicks on something and says, you know, I like that article, every single one of her friends, if they happen to be on their social networking page, sees that she respected something that I did. And knowing that Michelle and Jane happen to be 2 of the most smartest women in Peterborough, I'll have you know. So knowing that they probably feel the same way about her as I do, they'll probably go, wow, she thinks that's important. Now all of a sudden, this conversation that I had with one human has turned into a view of 101 people. Well, guess what? Say one of them also say they like it, and they also have 100 friends. Well, you start doing the math, it starts rippling and rippling and rippling and rippling. So the big difference is a one-to-one conversation, the ability to become one to many, to many, and to many. So that's the big difference, and technology is allowed for that. So what happens is, when I do the course, I actually have people go onto Facebook, and there's a place on there where it says create ad. If you have someone that's in their teens,